In this function, we will enable a user to add an item to the list by using the enter key on the keyboard. Okay, let's declare an enter key function and structure it. And we want user input to be affected by the onKeyUp event. So let's declare var input is equal to document dot get element by ID, and within brackets and quotation marks to do input. Let's not forget the semicolon to denote the end of a statement. And now within the function, let's bind our onKeyUp event handler to the input element with input dot onKeyUp, which means that now the onKeyUp event handler is associated with the input element on the page and not some other element. For example, clicking on the check mark or cross mark buttons won't do anything. So now when the onKeyUp event occurs, let's trigger a function. So is equal to function and open and close brackets, and within brackets type in key and then open and close curly braces. Our function takes an argument called key. The argument symbolizes what key has been pressed. Now let's write our function logic. Okay, let's think about how we want to go about this. So what we want is for the function to detect what key has been pressed, and if, the keyword here being if, the enter key is pressed down and released, then we want the item to be added to the list. So we don't want the function to execute if, say, the K letter on the keyboard has been pressed and released. The function should only execute if the enter key has been pressed and released. So let's structure an if conditional for this. And now put in our condition key dot key code strictly equal to the number 13. Remember, I said that every key on the keyboard is associated with a number called key code. So in our condition, we are determining whether the key pressed has a key code property equivalent to the number 13, which is the key code for the enter key. And if so, we want to add the item. And we already wrote our add item function, which does just that. So call the add item function from within the enter key function if the key pressed is the enter key. Now remember that this function has not been called anywhere. For a function to execute, it must be called. Our add item function is called when the add button is clicked from within the HTML document. Then our check mark and cross mark functions are called from within the add item function in main.js when the check mark and cross mark buttons are clicked. So keep in mind that the enter key function isn't attached to any HTML element on our page. So we need to call it from within main.js like so. And let's go try this out. And using the enter key now, press on enter, and great, everything looks just fine. Now let's work on the last part of our project, which is to clear the DOM and the task list array when the clear button is clicked.